Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to the Midnight Express. I hope you all are having a good beginning to whatever it is you're doing, other than myself and these fucking allergies destroying me. But usually this time of year when I'm having these kind of allergies, that lets me know that I am in my favorite time of the year. I'll say it over and over again, that it is autumn, it is fall, it is my favorite 3 months, just whatever the hell you want to call it, of the year. Got a day of rain coming, I think, Thursday or Friday. That'll fuck up everything probably. But other than that, smooth sailing. Halloween is this month. And, as soon as we turn around, we're headed head first into the holidays, all kinds of stuff. So welcome to the best time of the year. And we got football and my Dodgers in about 15 hours or so will have eliminated the Philadelphia Phillies and advanced to the NLCS on their way to back-to-back World Series, hopefully. Today, we're going to do this the other night, but I didn't want to do a show exclusively just to do a trailer watch. So we are going to watch the final trailer of a movie that the center will be promoting beginning of next month, which is Predator Badlands. Now, I have seen the first 20 minutes of Predator Badlands, and I got a question in the chat that I really do want to answer because I've been getting this question a lot from people today, and I'll go ahead and bring it up. All right, William, people are upset that Predator Badlands isn't rated R, but in my opinion, you could get away with a lot in PG-13, so I'm going to address that. All right, so first thing, a lot of people were equating it to Aliens versus Predator. Aliens versus Predator wasn't bad because of wasn't rated R. Aliens versus Predator was bad because it was a bad movie, and its sequel sucked. Now, as far as this movie being PG-13, I saw the first 20 minutes of Predator Badlands. Those 20 minutes were vicious. Those 20 minutes were violent. I don't know what criteria you obviously, if you've been watching this show for a while, you have heard me say that I think the PG-13 rating is a farce. It's bullshit. It has been since it came into play in 1984 and 1985. To me, the PG-13 rating is to make it appear that this movie is okay to send your kids to without a parent beyond the age of 13. Red Dawn was the first PG-13 movie I ever saw. I'm sorry. The first 5 minutes of that movie, kids are being slaughtered, shot in the head, point blank. There's dead bodies hanging out of windows. There's mass murders happening several times doing. It's violent. It shows you the violence. There's no implied violence in Red Dawn. All the violence in Red Dawn is shown to you. So the rating of PG-13 is garbage. Now, there's one thing that they have done here in this movie that I think may have technically skirted them away from the R rating that it probably deserves. There's no human blood in this. There are no humans in this, from what I can tell. Even the ones you're going to see in the trailer, those look like androids. So if there's no red blood, it sounds ridiculous, but a lot of people will be like, okay, well, that's not real violence. So it's like in the comics, when Batman comics, Batman would be crushing people. And they were bleeding all over him. It's brown. They didn't put the red blood in there, so we got it past all the people who were worried about that. So I think there's a technicality there, but the movie, like I said, the first 20 minutes that we saw at Comic-Con were violent. All 3Ds, death, dismemberment, and destruction are in those first 20 minutes, and that's all I'll say. How it got a PG-13 rating, I don't know. That's just a perception. I don't think matters. From what I saw, if it escalated beyond what I saw in San Diego, that's an R-rated movie that got away with PG-13 rating. So that's how I feel about that. All right, guys, we have the weekend coming up. If you want to host your own Sci-Fi Center sponsored watch party, I have 2 spots on Friday and I have 2 spots on Saturday. So all you need to do is click that link. And if you would like to host it, submit the movie, drop me an email with it, submit the movie as well, or submit it in the chat if you want to do it. And if we approve of the movie, we'll play it. If it's something we can't show, then you'll be immediately refunded. So there you go. Hello, Duck. Hello, Ozzy. Oh, hold on. What the hell's going on? Hold on. Sorry, I'm a 24-hour guy. Messages come through. I got to check them. What is this? What is this? What is this? Oh, it's me live, telling me I'm live. Okay, that's nice. Okay, cool. Nice to know I'm live 13 minutes later. Let's see. Hi, Aaron. Hello, Anthony. Long time to see. No, I didn't. Sounds cool, though. Even Aaron agrees. What's up, Jose? Boo, PG-13. Like I said, I first, like I said, full disclaimer, I think the PG-13 is a bullshit scam. Most of the movies that are PG-13, you're starting to split hairs of why it's not R, and that's when you have to split those kind of hairs, it's a fucking R-rated movie. Like I said, as somebody who's seen probably more of the movie than anybody that's currently in our chat right now, that's not a PG-13 movie. It's not a PG. It's really violent, and it gets off to a really violent start, and that's just the first 20 minutes. It's an hour and a half, and almost 2-hour movie. There's nothing that indicates to me that this isn't but once again, green predator blood or the alien blood and all that. The violence isn't. I guess these guys maybe are thinking if the violence isn't human on human violence, if we can't identify with the thing that's doing the killing or being killed, then it can skirt, because a horror movie is a crazy person that we identified as a human doing slashing, or an alien killing a human. I guess that's where we get to the but even Aliens versus Predator, that movie should not have been PG-13. It wasn't good, but it shouldn't have been. There was enough over the top violence and there to be R. But like I said, it doesn't matter because the ratings game is a scam to begin with. Well, there's all kinds of implied stuff in Evil Dead. But even if you go look at Evil Dead, the original one that came out in the late 79, 80, the only thing that really drives that to the R rating, because it's even I saw that as a kid. And that didn't really, is the tree branch rape scene thing that happened. That's really the only thing, because they got to explain that to a kid, obviously, or a kid sees that. So that's really the only thing. But if you do that, you can go around that and imply that and then really get away with a lot of stuff. That Dawn is a bad example. We were figuring out what PG-13 was. What's the modern example? Was Prey PG-13? No, I don't think so. No, because there was dismemberment. There was implied attempted rape. Remember those what those French guys were talking about? It's extremely violent. It's violent on humans. I mean, you're talking ESPN. You're talking the kind of violence that's in Prey was R rated. Now, what was Prey? Was Prey? I didn't even pay attention to what Prey was rated because it was on Hulu. So I don't did it even get a rating? I know it got an advisory, but no, I would judge that Prey would be R. Yeah, Prey was R. Yeah, Prey was R. Yeah, but don't be deceived by that. That doesn't. First of all, like I said, I think that rating is bullshit. That this first, like I said, this movie is not. This movie is not a PG-13 movie, but if they want to call it that, that's fine. And plus, some of you guys are kind of wusses. You might think it's something is PG-13, and some of you guys are the reverse wusses, where you think anything should be, seen by anybody 13 or whatever. So you might say, well, that's not R. I mean, but like I said, judging from the type of things I've seen in the modern era that have been rated R and PG-13, I think the first 20 minutes of this movie reminded me of Prey. And remember, Prey was vicious. Prey was violent. This movie is along those lines, and same people. So I can't speak for the people who did the rating. I can't. My opinion, this geek's opinion, take it for what you want. I believe that this is probably an R-rated movie that got away through technicality of being a PG-13 movie. I don't know if this is going to be a movie for kids, unless it miraculously decreases in viciousness after 20 minutes. I don't think this is a kiddie movie. That's why I don't understand. I have not seen the whole movie. I've only seen the beginning of the movie. But just going on, if the beginning of the movie is consistent with the rest of the movie, then I don't believe this is something that you could take me as a kid, but I was different. Not everybody's, was watching horror and gore at 8, 9, 10 years old. Some people keep their kids away from that. So it's yeah. Let's see. Like I said, you guys have the disadvantage of not seeing the first 20 minutes of the movie. It's not. I got no impressions. If you would have told me that was PG when we were sitting there in July, I would have laughed at you. That's not PG. This is not a PG-13 movie, but you guys will get to see it for yourself, though. It's going to be out November 7th. Okay. Fall is a season. Autumn is a season. Fall are dates that fall. Fall is a window of time, in my opinion, that falls within autumn. Because when you're talking about, like, when you talk about back to school, or when you talk about fall sports or things like that, you're usually talking about, a season, you're talking about a window of time, like from, for football, it starts in September. Those things start in fall, but autumn is a season, because football starts before summer ends, technically. So autumn is the actual physical season. I always use fall for like scheduling things, school, things like that. School starts in fall, Autumn comes after. It's just a difference that I have always used. So I don't know otherwise, but that's how I've always distinguished them. Multiverse of Madness with PG-13 and had human blood and someone's brain exploding. Yeah, someone getting ripped apart. A woman, bloodied. Wanda was completely bloodied by the time she came through all that glass. Yeah, I mean, like I think the rating situation is bullshit. Just give the advisory. I'd say go away with the rating. Whatever, because if you're worried about what your kids are going to see, a lot of times, like I said, you can do the research and it'll tell you why it's rated that way. And if you go on IMDb or any of these other sites, it actually breaks down what's in it, and then you can make a decision for yourself. But to me, these ratings are scams in most cases. They're advisories, they're guidelines. That's all they are. Okay, I have sent people to see Tron Ares tonight or last night. None of them were hating Tron's Ares because Jared Leto. All the ones, which is unfortunately the majority, are hating it because they didn't think it was a good movie. I have not seen it. I have no plans on seeing it anytime soon. But all of those people I sent went to go see the movie. I mean, if you're gonna hate it because of Jared Leto's in it, then why would you go see it? From what I hear, and this is from some people who like the first two Trons, they like Tron 1982 and they like Tron Legacy. They did not like this one because the movie was just not good. That's what I've heard. I have yet to see it. I don't know if I'm ever going to see it, but it's just not my thing. So, but I haven't heard anybody that I've associated with personally have an issue with Tron specifically because of Jared Leto. They had a lot of issues with the story and the pace and everything else. And like I said, I sent this to them for free, so they didn't have to pay for anything. And since we're getting the notification late, why not just have the co-host come in at the same time? What's up? If it's violence again, I don't know, but I don't know. This is a good question for us. I don't know where, I don't know where the criteria that they used to make this. I don't think it matters because, like I said, I nothing I saw in San Diego said PG-13, but hey, I'm different, so. Yeah, it's called. People mistakenly call it. They interchange the term, but one of them, like I said, is more of a scheduling piece of time, and the other one is an actual season. It is actually defined by the weather. It is actually, it's just like when spring begins and things like that. But it's the only one that has that distinction because summer, everything else. So, but that's the way when I was growing up, how I learned. When we had to. When you learn the seasons when you're like kindergarten, that's how I learned it. First Alien Earth was a big disappointment. The ending of Alien Earth was a big disappointment for me. The show was not. Now Predator Battling. All right, guys, you're getting fixated on a rating that really is not going to matter. When has the PG-13 rating really mattered? They do whatever the fuck they want. Okay, the ratings is a scam. The rating is a scam. Technically, anytime you have the mass murder of anything, if you're killing like lots of people at once, like the fucking Joker blowing up an entire hospital, killing all those people, throwing people off of this, that's a PG-13. Great. Like I said, Multiverse of Madness, you could have made an easy case for that being R if you want to, but they weren't going to do it because they wanted the Marvel heads to be able to go see it over and over again with or without their parents. And people have a stigma when it comes to an R-rated movie. That's not, if you're going to make a rating, it should be based on what's in the content. But all the rating system is for business. It's for business. If I would have shown you the first 20 minutes of Predator Badlands and you honestly had to guess the rating, nobody in here would be PG-13. Unless you're just a sadist. Okay, so I don't think
that's something I've seen a few other people who look at Comic-Con.
You are echoing bad.
Oh.
I think you're on the wrong thing. But yeah, I didn't see any PG-13 in it, but once again, people got different standards and different. That's why the ratings are useless.
Is that better?
If you're going to see a Predator movie, a good one, expect the things that will be in an R-rated movie, period. That's why my guidance would be,
So yeah, but yeah, so I saw a few reactions of this on Twitter today from people who were at Comic-Con and saw that first 15 minutes or so and said, yeah, this it didn't look watered down at all or anything.
And it's like I said, I'm not kidding you. You guys know my level of violence. You see what we watch here. You see what I love.
You can coin the term 3Ds.
They're all in the 20 minutes. They are all in the 20 minutes.
Well, and apparently because there are human characters in it definitely, but apparently it's like Deck, the main predator. He's not primarily hunting the humans, so it's like most of the creatures are getting chopped up, or they're, because that's another thing with the MPAA is like it's if the blood isn't red, then it's like
Which
flies under an R.
Get the fuck out of here with that. That's what I mean. It's just abandon the rating system, and just give descriptions. Like I said, if you go to IMDb, and especially after we've seen it and we've given our opinions, and there's a place in our IMDb you can go explicitly and you can put a spoiler warning on there, but you can go beyond the spoiler warning. You can actually type in, say, if there's nudity, okay, brief nudity, frontal, rear. You can type those words in, and it gives you level of blood, or gives you level of nudity, level of sex and nudity. That's like a rating on there, right? So you can type that in, and actual IMDb members can type that in. And a parent can look up that, and it's usually factual because they'll edit it. Like you said, you just can't say that there was somebody's dick in there and there wasn't. They'll edit that out. But if there's something in there, so say for like if you looked up Schindler's List, right? There's nudity throughout Schindler's List, but it'll say non-sexual. So now a parent can decide whether I want them to go see this because there's not two people fucking. It's historical things like that. Violence. It'll tell you what type of violence it is. Is it sports violence, like a boxing violence, or is it gratuitous violence? Is it Friday the 13th violence? You can go, there's a couple of different systems where you can go. And because it could be rated PG-13, and if you're a parent and you look at that and you're like, okay, well, that's a little bit too far for my kid anyway, then it doesn't matter what the rating is. The rating is garbage. It's bullshit. It's a marketing scheme. That's all it really was. It's a guidance at the best. It's a guidance. But like I said, when these ratings came out,
guidance suggested.
Exactly. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have IMDb. We didn't have ways to review. You got a lot of people who review things, and as part of their review, they'll let you know because they get the questions. Is this something I can take my 14, 15, 16? It's like when the kids come into my comic book. Saturday, I had kids come in, tourist kids, and they headed straight for the Absolute section. I'm like, okay, I need to go over there with you. They went and they started grabbing. They grabbed a lot. Thank you, family from Arizona. What I did though, because obviously, and we're going to go into this later on, because I got. Thank you, Scott Snyder. I got to read both Absolute KO and Absolute Batman 13, but we'll go in that in a couple seconds. I took them from them and I handed them to their mom. And I'm like, I need you to flip through this, take a look at this, because this is a little bit different from the other Batman stuff. And if you're okay with it, then I'm okay with it. Her exact words are like, as long as there's not any real nudity or anything in it. And I'm like, and I knew those issues didn't have anything in there. And I'm like, no. And she said, but I'm okay with the violence. I still had her flip through them. And then, she was okay. Every parent's going to be different. You see, it's just you really, the ratings are just it's the guidance up there.
Yeah. Not everybody has mine who actually gave a damn about the ratings when I was little.
Yeah. And in mine were like, they observed.
They didn't give a damn.
Well, we went and they observed us, me and my sister. They observed us and they said, okay, we can handle it. If we'd have been like beating the hell out of people and stabbing people in schools or something like Jason, then yeah, it'd be a problem. Awesome News. This is similar to Kill Bill.
Yeah, I saw this. I'm definitely going to be giving this a look. And so, which, I love that it's, yeah, apparently. Yeah. And it's going to be like the two movies cut, that's why it's called Whole Bloody Affair. It's both of them.
Oh, they got to have an intermission, man. I can't be doing.
Yeah, probably, but still, am
I gonna pee in the popcorn bucket that they give?
But I still like the precedent of giving a commemorative theater run for a 4-hour movie that this will set. I'll just leave it at that.
Different situation.
Well, that would be and that has had it, from the showings that Zach has done for it, that has had an intermission because I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not sitting through 4 hours of a movie without peeing. I'm sorry. I drink too much water. I drink water throughout the day. I pee more than a normal person. Sorry, because I drink a lot of water because I live in the desert. Okay, so I'm skipping all the fourth is Disney princess references because
I'm definitely looking forward to this. Actually, I don't know if I told you this is like when I saw this news, I quote tweeted it with the night I saw first Kill Bill. I just ran into my high school football coach. He was also the JROTC teacher at school. It's like he just happened to be at the same show. We just bumped into each other coming out of the theater. It's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then we were back at the school at Pratt or whatever, because I did take it might have been like ROTC, because I did take one ROTC class with him, and he was the topic of Kill Bill came up in class, and he gave the best shorthand I've ever heard for the original Kill Bill, which he said, the Kill Bill, if you haven't seen it, it's a blonde chick with a sword chops of half of Tokyo.
Yeah, Bill, Kill Bill. Like I said, I am a fan of Quentin Tarantino. I am a fan of the over the top mess that he does in that movie. Once again, he lets you know that this movie is a caricature of what the things I love, and he loved. We
did the watch party for both of them.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And I love the best kill, even though it's like the whole last third is the whole like battle in the Yakuza the stronghold. The best kill is when the one Yakuza member is like cussing out Lucy Liu, and he's like,
oh, she jumps up on the table and
the first thing you just see her feet just scurry across, and it just takes the sword, just chop.
Yeah. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I forgot to say that.
You don't even see her like get up.
It's just her feet.
This next shot just scurrying, and its head's over there.
I'm not once again, I have no plans to see Tron Ares, but I sent people tonight to go see it. And I'm not hearing the best things about it, but I'm not a Tron fan. But once again, the reason why this came up is because people are saying because Jared Leto is in it, but most people won't go see a movie if they have a problem with Jared. They won't even go see it for free. If they have a problem with the actor, they just won't go see the movie. That's how that usually works. But all right.
Dude's kind of a weirdo, but I'm not like a let it stand by any.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, there's a lot of people that like I said, there's a list of weirdos, and now with social media, you could see those weirdos, and they were all listen, guys. They were always weird. Crazy people didn't just become crazy. People with shitty opinions just did become shitty. They were always there with those opinions. We just now have access to their opinions, and they have ways to get those opinions out there. John Wayne wouldn't have lasted in modern America. John Wayne is an American hero, but some of the things that John Wayne had said in private in places that weren't the internet would not have been taken well. It just wouldn't have happened. I mean, so yeah, we nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. People have always had political opinions. They've always been crazy. They've always done salacious and crazy stuff. If they were abusing, they've been abusing since there's been motion pictures. We just have the internet. We have Twitter. We have cameras. We have ways to get that shit out there in 5 minutes. That's the only difference between now and then. Fourth, thank you for the support.
I mean, again, I'm not like a Leto simian, so I like what we've seen of him as the Joker, and I mean, I like some of 30 Seconds. I like some of 30 Seconds to Mars music, but I mean that's kind of about it for me and him.
Him as Neander Wallace in Blade Runner 2049. I wanted to pimp slap him, and I wish the only thing about this, is I don't get more of him because he was so unsettling. And there's a scene in there where he kills one of his own replicants. I mean, because he doesn't see them as anything but property. He just stabs her and just. And the way what he's saying and why he does it, and it's probably one of the most powerful scenes in Blade Runner 2049. It involves his assistant, which is a replicant, Love. Him talking about because they found out that Tyrell has created a replicant that can bear children. He wants that secret, and these replicants that he can create are worthless. So he's stabbing them. He stabs her and she bleeds out like right on. It's a horrible scene. But now you've replaced the woodpecker, and it sounds like you have your fingers inside of a barrel, and you're tapping the barrel.
You're picking it because I got them. I mean, I got the.
You got the good mic. Hey, you know what? I don't mind it because your mic sounds great now.
Okay. But
it sounds like you took the woodpecker. And you gave him like a blowhorn now. It's hilarious.
Oh, you guys are really hearing it? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it really bad, but might want to
Okay.
I'm just saying. Netflix is supposed to release a retro cut of Jay. Oh, dude, fuck! What was cut out of that movie? That's a fucked up movie on its own. All right. I wonder what's going to be in that. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going here, so we can see what this is all about. Like I said, even this trailer doesn't really say PG-13 to me, but like I said, we're all different. All right, hold on. I want to make sure that the sound is on right. Make sure I drown out your woodpecker.
No, I'm not typing.
Welcome to the most dangerous planet in the universe, where everything is trying to kill you.
I need a hand.
You're here to prove yourself. Hunting something that can't be killed. We might not be alone in this hunt.
Yaslan so için. Det Jedi onay çiş.
Yeah, this doesn't scream like watered down PG-13 to me.
And by the way, Fox, we're promoting the movie. Don't send me this stupid little notice. Oh, we're taking it to. I'm like, I'm literally for
Don't
Tron.
Rebel Moon us.
For Tron, I'm literally handing out posters and pimping your movie that I'm not gonna go see, but you took me down, and then I had the other day I had the soundtrack because the trailer I played had as promoting, hey, come down and get your tickets and stuff. I was promoting, hey, I promoted the video, and the video had 9 Inch Nails playing. I got kicked down for that. I'm like, they didn't block me, but they just said, we're not going to monetize it. I'm like, okay, first of all, we ain't there yet when it comes to monetization to where I'm like, oh shit, I can't pay my fucking bills now. But still, fucking stop. That's annoying. So this is people right now. We sent them to Tron. There you go. They saw it in IMAX. Like I said, we gave away, they had like a nice little thing set up for them. They could stand next to the little Tron Ares poster. I actually had somebody offer me that foam poster, but I don't know. So there you go. So what else we got going on? There's my sunset while I'm on here. Hey, come get a Funko Pop. They live. Woo! Batman hardcover. You want it. There's my absolute section right there. Part of it. Let's see. Goofy Wolverine cover. Hey, look at this. Disney, Fox. I'm literally sending. Look at that. Why are you blocking me? Why not blocking me? Well, why are you telling me I shouldn't be showing the stuff? You just told me to show. I don't get that. And then Rebel Moon too. Rebel Moon, we did Rebel Moon. What was the other one we did? Oh no, not the dumb thing.
Yeah, that's when we got that scream.
That pissed me off.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Oh, look at that. This is from the other night. Oh my God.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Shut up. I left them a rating.
Really, dude, these burgers are just freaking enormous, man. I don't think I could eat one that big. Not one sitting anyway.
I left them a review. I don't really review, the restaurants and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll do it through Uber Eats or whatever. I actually went to Fat Burger's website, and this is a Fat Burger that's right down the street from my house. And they actually they deliver it all the way to the center, which is the far away. If your burger doesn't look like this, stop. All right. If the burger doesn't look like this, if it doesn't feel like this, you're being robbed. Everyone that gives you something less than this right here is robbing you, is stealing from you. You need to get your money back. And I put this exactly. Fat Burger specifically, the 6775 West Flamingo, whoever location, whoever made this masterpiece understood what a Fat Burger is supposed to be. This wasn't a cook. This was an artist. Look at how it's balanced. He didn't skimp on the cheese. Look at the patties. There's not one big patty and a couple small ones or 3 small ones or nothing like that. And they're all equal.
Seriously, though, it's like this is me. It's like I'm having leftovers. It's like this. I cannot eat something that big in one sitting. I can eat a whole pizza, like just on my own in one sitting. It was like this would defeat me.
I have had plenty of these, and when you see something like this that stops you and you have to comment about it, that was where it was. So there's my impromptu car show that was out there the other night. That when we were on the air.
Oh yeah.
But they weren't there this week. I thought this was funny. Starbucks, get it? Nobody got it.
Aaron's like,
buns in it.
Aaron,
Wait, what's that?
Aaron said she wouldn't be able to eat it either.
No, it was huge. It was over 2 pounds. That's another thing. When I pick them up, it's like, it's 1.5 to 2 pounds. If you're doing it right, you get as close to 2 pounds. And if they don't quite get 2 pounds, you're okay. You tried. This one was clearly over 2 pounds. When he handed it to me, when you grab something, you know how much it weighs, and you adjust your strength. It went down. I'm like, ooh. I was like, yeah, that was something else. That was okay. Here we go with Tron Ares. There you go.
And Chappie, of course, the Predator coming up. He's got a watch along suggestion. I mean, pony up, man.
What is it? Oh, there's my magnet.
The Predator. I know. William and I are in agreement, though. We think this is the worst of the franchise. So we would roast the hell out of that if we did a watch along to that.
I'm having fun with the whole TikTok thing. Here we go. Watch this.
Cells. When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells. Interlinked. Cells.
Yeah, I was fucking around. I have the entire Blade Runner set.
That burger comes with a coupon for discount colonoscopy.
Oh no, it was tasty. You come down to the center, you get a free button with my dome on it. There you go. I know it's
William, thoughts on smash burgers? Yeah, good question.
For what you pay, I have a problem. Like I said, most of these burgers that people ask me, they ask me about, they are not bad. It's just that the size for which you're paying. Some of these places are charging 14, 15, 16. I mean, Carl's Jr.'s Triple Western is an $18 burger without fries or anything else. If I'm going to pay it, and it's nowhere near what that burger I just showed you was. Here we go. This is one of my favorite. Hold on. I love that popcorn bucket. All right.
Yeah, that's the best one they've done yet because it's an actual functioning bat signal.
Yeah, and I was trying to build one. I would literally had that section set up, and if you look behind there, I was going to use a cookie tin to put a flashlight in,
and they just provided you. So. Just fell out of the sky.
All right, about that. Listen, the link is in there. If you pay, we got to do triple digits for that, Chappie. We can't be doing that. Movie was painful.
By the way, that reminds me. With Badlands coming up, let me see if I can find this. Oh yeah, here it is. We might actually be getting something kind of a cool offshoot from that. But it's kind of similar to the whole bloody affair with Kill Bill. This report I saw that Prey and Predator Badlands are coming to AMC theaters as a double feature on November 5th. So do those so soon. Bring it on.
If we promote, I think we are going to be promoting that. I am actually going to. I might do my own private showing of some of the Predator movies.
We've done one for Prey, right? Yeah,
we did one for Prey, but I might do one for in our screening room. I might do one in our screening room.
I think we've done for all of them except for Predators and the Predator.
The Predator. We're not doing the Predator. Not for free. Fuck that. Yeah, it does do it. It takes a toll on you, but it tastes so good that the speed in which you are being overtaken with it, you don't realize that you're forcing that much food throughout the human body. But it is possible. I've proven it.
Again, I can eat a whole pizza, and then like that just really intimidates me.
Pizza is nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was like talking about. I'm just reading some of the. Yeah. I got into a discussion with somebody who we showed 2049 to, because anytime you put nudity in a movie, everybody wants to say, well, that wasn't necessary. That was gratuitous. This scene that Denis Villeneuve shot was can you not type during the show? Come on,
okay,
man.
Okay.
Now, especially now that you've got a good mic, it actually sounds like you got the woodpecker has one of those voice distortions when they call in and ask for ransom. That's what it sounds like. No. Anyway, but okay, so
does it sound like buried by the
oh my god, worse. When so Love, who is played, I forgot her name, but she's I've never seen her in anything before this, and I've seen her in action. She's his assistant, and what the scene is entails is a brand new replicant model being he needs to examine a brand new replicant model. So they're in this like Ziploc thing, and he walks in and she's covered in like the slime and the Ziploc thing opens. She just drops to the floor, and he's blind, so he uses these sensors and everything. So she's standing there, just coming out of the thing. So she obviously being birthed, she's naked. So she's standing there for an extended amount of time, and he's doing his little examination while he's talking to Love, saying why we need to find this child, because I can only make so many of these. Tyrell's last trick was the magic between the womb. He goes through a long old speech, and then he takes out his scalpel that he uses to cut open the thing, and he stabs her. Now she has no mind, she has no nothing, so she's just standing there. She's just a brand new construct that hasn't been programmed yet. The reason why that scene was so strong is because his assistant Love, he has basically propped her up to be the epitome of their creations. She thinks of herself as an angel. He uses the term an angel, but when he sees her like that, the replicant that he's killing, she connects with that replicant because she knows she's one. And she's seeing how he's treating her, and she comes to the realization, whether she doesn't want to believe it or not, that that's all she is to him. And the way they shot the scene is Love all, in her executive outfit, and then this property here, and then, he walks away from her, and the replica just collapses and dies. It's a pretty bloody scene. And it really underscored, why Wallace needed to have his ass whipped, and we never got that scene in there. But a lot of people were complaining, because I remember when I rated the movie, it's like, oh, they didn't need to show that. I'm like, it was the reason why they showed it. It wasn't gratuitous. I did that trailer for me when it comes to Predator Badlands. I was already in. Like I said, there's nothing that's in the that wasn't in the 20 minutes that we saw at Comic-Con that didn't already have me ready to go see this movie, especially given the creative team behind it. So I hope that trailer pushes you guys closer. As somebody who hasn't seen anything other than trailers, what did the trailer do for you, Brad?
I mean, I couldn't be more on board with Badlands already. And it's like, yeah, bring it on. It's like the biggest thing probably going to add for me is the hearing a little bit like the actual Predator language from a deck, his dialogue about, it's like, I don't fail, and this and that. That's really going to be interesting, because even though Trachtenberg has said that he deck isn't going to talk much in it, but again, we're gonna hear Predators talking in a way that's just not what
he does quite a bit of talking to open up the movie.
He does. Okay.
The way the movie opens up, and that's why that scene that you saw there was more poignant, because it ties back to the beginning of the movie.
He crash lands on the planet.
Okay. I can't. Some of it will be spoilery.
Yeah,
but something happens at the beginning of the movie, and there's a reason why. Did they give you the premise in any of this?
Because a lot. I mean, the general kind of premise is out there that he's just he's somehow disgraced within the predator culture, and he's exiled and sent to this other planet where he has to survive and prove his worth.
No.
Oh, that's not it? Okay.
No. I don't know if I should say how it begins because there's that spoiler. Because if that's the premise you have, then that's not the right premise. That's not what happens.
Well, that's kind of what. Let me pull up Wikipedia real quick and see what, because I know the synopsis or a synopsis has been put out there. But
yeah, because I don't want to. I don't want to be the guy that messes it up for you.
Let me see real quick. Okay, so this is from the official Wikipedia. This is the synopsis there from the Walt Disney Company. In the future, on a remote planet, a young predator, outcast from his clan, finds an unlikely ally in Seeya and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary.
Okay, so it leaves out a lot. All right.
So that's like
that's true. What
that's
you
accurate.
said is
that's
true.
accurate. That's accurate.
But there's something that happens up to and before that really.
So it's
really,
accurate. But it's not complete.
Defines his character, and you get the whole context of the why.
Okay, because
he's not just outcasted. He's just an outcast. There's a reason why.
Okay, because a lot of what I've written on this, I've said things, or I've phrased it like Deck is like exiled from the predator culture and has to team up with
that sort of. But there's something. That's why when they say PG-13, I'm like, there's something that happens, and I'm like, okay, PG-13, what?
So I'm guessing it involves like a spine being ripped out or something not PG-13 ordinarily.
No. It's Predator. I'm just going to tell you, it's consistent with what you've seen in the Predator. Not Shane Black Predator and not the AVP nonsense. The good Predators. Things that happen in this 20 minutes are things that you should expect, and none of that shit is R. Which one of the what mainline Predators are? Fuck AVP. Fuck the Val Predator. I don't even care what that was rated. What mainline Predator? All of them have been R. Prey is R. So there's things that happen in the first 20 minutes.
Killers is R.
Yeah, that's a cartoon. So what the hell? What is my sister doing? She's gonna have to wait.
And it's interesting because the guy playing Deck is I guess this is like his first movie. His name is Demetrius Schuster Kaloa Matangi.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's Samoan.
Yeah, so
that's Samoan or Hawaiian, right?
Yeah, so this is and he, of course he's all Predator makeup, and his name isn't even like highlighted here on the Wikipedia. So it's probably like his first movie or like one of his first. He's probably he may be like a stunt guy or an up and comer who's kind of getting his first kind of.
Yeah, I remember
here.
We were at the Red Rock Fat Burger and Clint ordered a smaller burger than mine. To me, I'm like, okay. And yeah, he was struggling there for a little bit. Why? What are you doing, girl? Hold on.
Okay, so it's not because the way I was reading it, a lot of what was put out there, it sounded to me like he's exiled because he doesn't live up to like the warrior culture of the Predators, or he has like a big shortcoming on a hunt or something where they basically decide, okay, you're not worthy of the predator hunter status that we conferred on our finest, so you're out of here. It's kind of
it's a little bit more brutal than that though. Okay. And who administers that judgment is what makes it kind of fucked up. So I don't want to that's it. Because like I said, that's part of the movie. It's part of the plot. Now, if they go and release that, or you see that publicly put out there somewhere, then I don't mind saying it. But there's a dynamic at the beginning of the movie that kind of just sets the movie on its way.
And this is like at the beginning where it kind of makes clear why he's being banished. Yeah. And okay,
now he's not okay.
And that's the other thing. It sounds like this isn't like an exile to prove his worth or anything.
It's not an exile.
Okay.
Not an exile. And the banishing is it's not a banishing. So it's something else that, like I said, they didn't give us a gag order, but I just really don't want to ruin.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, hold on for a second. Somebody's texting me. One error.
And yeah, I just looked up his IMDb. Yeah, it says he's from Auckland, New Zealand, and of Samoan and Tongan heritage. And
Yeah, that name.
and he's this is like only like his 7th credit. So this is and most of his work has been in on TV shows. So he's again, this pretty big much a newcomer, and yeah, very pretty big. His height is listed as 7 feet 3 inches. So I mean, there's a reason why. Well, there's a reason why they. Well, there's a reason why they cast tall dudes to play predators.
He's 6'2". He's about my height.
No, 7'3".
Oh, I thought you said 73 inches.
No, yes, 7 feet 3 inches.
Oh, okay. I thought okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, my stomach has been trained. I'll just do it at that.
Do we now? One thing. It sounds like we're probably going to get and pretty early on. And one thing I did like that they did, and we got, however briefly, in AVP Requiem, is we got a little glimpse. It was a glimpse of the Predator homeworld, and it sounds like this kind of gives more of a look at that early on. Like we see a little bit more of like the Predator homeworld.
It begins there.
Okay. So it's not just he gets the signal like, hey, come clean up this mess, and he flies off. It's more. It
like I said, it starts. There's a dynamic involved that is the core of the movie.
Okay.
And the antagonist and the protagonist, there's a dynamic there that is, and you'll see it. You saw it in the trailer.
Does it go into anything about like as far as like it showed what the first 15 minutes we saw at Comic-Con?
20. We saw it for 20 minutes.
They showed you probably, because was this like 2-hour movie or so? They showed you probably like 10% of the movie there.
Yeah, and there were some things in there that were not done yet, but it was a work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Was there anything in that material that kind of gave any context to the role that Weyland Yutani has in the story?
None.
No, okay, yeah. That's gonna be like later on in the movie.
That particular thing is not even in those 20 minutes. So
okay, that mech suit, because obviously it's like, it's similar designs, to the Ripley's mech and Aliens, but it's a new kind of setup where it's like you can run all fours. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's all about.
They're Dark Horse Comics. Yeah, they're Aliens versus Predator in 1990. Because the engineers are technically working for them or working in conjunction with them. So. Okie dokie.
That's second says watch party. Well, he only did one that had the Hulk in, and that was Ragnarok, and that is leaps and bounds better than Love and Thunder. Whatever else wherever you think of it, it's like that's the better of the two.
Not much. All right, so we're done with that.
Soul Plane. Why we let Soul Plane?
The link is in the chat there, homie. All right, so as you can see from the thumbnail, I was given an advanced copy of both DCKO and Absolute Batman number 3. Did he send me pictures? I got to be careful because I don't want to bring this up on screen because it's out for people if they get your stuff like on Tuesday. But can I bring up certain things? These things don't have the cover on them. Okay, well here's can I bring this up? Nah, I don't want it. It has stuff on it. Because it's a cut that gives you things on it that but I'll just bring up all right, your mic is picking up everything now. And we actually solved the problem, and now
it worked too well now.
It actually worked because it's picking up like everything.
Can I maybe hold on? Let me dial down the dial there on the other mic. Does that make it any better?
Yeah, you might just want to refrain from doing things like what you just did. I can hear that. Yeah, because it picks up everything, which is great, which is what you want. But now we have a different issue. All right, so listen, I hate to sound like a broken record when it comes to the Absolute line of books. Yeah, I may be biased because it's doing very well for me as a retailer. But content wise, it's doing even better than that. This, especially Absolute Batman, has no ceiling. Usually books top out. usually you hit a crest where you hit a zenith of the story, and then everything around that is kind of, it's not bad, but it's not as good as that zenith. You get that high point, and then you spend the next 3 or 4 issues trying to, the ramifications of that high point. Absolute Batman, especially this particular arc called The Abomination, and Absolute Batman number 13 is The Abomination Part 5. It's Part 5 of 6. To let you know how superior this version of Bane is over that stuff in the early 90s, he's not even in the fucking issue, and he haunts the issue because of what he's done and how they've written him. Catwoman is in this. She's in the previous episode, but she's actually in here. She's throughout. She's really cool. I love this version of Catwoman. She's got a mask.
Yeah, this redesign of her suit is really interesting.
Yeah, she stole shit from Black Mask. Is what is that redesign / I stole shit from Black Mask, and that comes up. Definitely near a Black Label. I mean, it's his relationship with her is the same, pretty much the same dynamic. Obviously, they're banging in the comic. They show a little bit more. And that's why, like, when the woman that was buying it for a kid, they don't show explicit stuff, but they show more than the Batman comic usually shows. And I'm like, I turn to that page, I'm like, you okay with that? She's that's not okay. There you go. They're setting up for this final battle that's going to happen with Bane in Absolute Batman number 14. Batman has got, because of the experimentation that happened to him in Arc M, he's got Venom. Venom's not Venom, but he's got Venom in him. And what Bane is trying to do is he's trying to destroy Batman by making him into something like him. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to destroy Batman, not by defeating him, but turning him into a monster like Bane. And
so far, he's not working out for Batman. He's gone. He's doing a pretty good job of that so far.
Yeah, he's gone after people, and he's starting. This is a young Bruce Wayne. This is like a 23, 24-year-old Bruce Wayne. So this isn't the old, experienced guy from the earlier interpretations. He's on the verge of making mistakes, and the people around him are important. Catwoman is really important to him, attempting to stay in the game, because he thinks that he can control the venom that they put in him. And she's like, not, because when he gets, by the way, they introduce a character in here, a very familiar character in here, as part of the group called the Red Hood. I'll let you read the comic. It's kind of cool. You will instantly recognize who she is. Oh, fuck, I just did it. But you instantly recognize who this person is. It comes out in like 10 hours. It's already out on shelves somewhere. It's Harley Quinn, but it's absolute Harley Quinn, and it's kind of cool. She's part of a group called the Red Hood, and he's enlisting people for this war that he's about to take on Bane next week. And all these people have lost people to Arkham's experiments. They're kidnapping people off the street, and they're augmenting them and making these things, monsters out of them. And everybody is, people, they kidnap, the people that are like in the lowly parts of Gotham, because nobody's going to miss them. So they all got a beef with Arkham and Bane. And so Batman is a really cool page in here where Batman basically goes on the news and challenges them. He says, I know you're out there, and I know what you want. I know what you've done. So let's do this. Let's finish this one-on-one. They're going to take place. It's going to be in a football stadium where they're going to fight. And Bane's not coming to, like I said, Bane is going to try to enrage him to the point where he loses control and becomes one of them. But Batman thinks he can control it and beat the fuck out of him, which is what needs to happen after. Like I said, the 5 issues of this Bane, just these mere 5 issues are better than anything that they've done with him in the 30 years since prior. They built a foundation for Bane here, and it's not just him. Bane is just the beginning, because Bane works for somebody. That's not his laboratory. Bane's working for the Joker, and remember on Saturday, the Joker's up to some shit. The Absolute Joker is really up to some shit, and so. This is all leading to something much larger than just him. So they did a really good job of the buildup. I mean, this issue it's not even on the shelves yet, and I can't wait for 14. I need 14 like immediately. I will be begging Scott Snyder, just give me as soon as you're ready, get it out here. Let me see the PDF file, because reading this one and the covers, I'll have the covers. I'll give it a much more deeper review during the week or near the weekend, because when I have it in my hand and I can show you guys the pages and stuff. And the covers are beautiful. There's variant covers of her with and without the helmet, and there's one variant cover where it's you can see her face shining through because the light hits it, and then there's one with Bane. By the way, Absolute Batman, 9th printing. 9th printing is coming out. 9th printing. 9th. I said 9th.
9th printing. Yeah, I saw that too. Like, that is crazy. How often does that? And that. I mean,
not my recent memory. I can't.
When is it like owning the Sci-Fi Center? Like, can you think of any other time that's happened?
No. And these aren't just reprints.
I mean, to reiterate, Williams had the Sci-Fi Center for 30 years.
Yeah, we're talking since I opened up in December of '94 till it's November. Oh, it's October 8th. I've never seen 9 printings on anything. And these aren't just reprints. These are reprints with limited runs and different covers, so they're collectible.
They don't have a
indefinite.
It's ongoing. It's pretty much it's parallel to mainline. It is.
Yeah.
It's until people stop buying it, basically.
He made sure that he put that up during Comic-Con, because a lot of people think this is a limited story. No, this is an ongoing story, an ongoing universe. A lot of people thought now that DCKO, which is another thing that he gave us, this is the first time he's given us 2 issues, but since DCKO and Absolute Batman number 13 both released today, he gave us both of those. And when I saw DCKO, I'm like, what kind of video game? This is gonna be like Contest of Champions. This sounds cheesy. And then I went to the panel, because I made sure that I was at Scott Snyder's panel this year when he brought that out, and then he explains it, and it's really cool. It's not just some kind of Contest of Champions type shit. There's a reason that they're fighting for this thing, and there's a reason why they need it. And they have to have it in order because Darkseid is coming, and you get the understanding of why the Absolute universe exists now, why he created it, and how he created it, and why he needed it, and what he's planning on doing. Earth was always the key, and not just any Earth. The mainline Earth was always the key to his conquest. So even though he had access to other universes, this is the one that we live in, or one that our heroes live in, was the one that he has to have. And his power to reshape things comes from what he did with the Absolute universe. He is drawing energy from that universe. So the dark side that these people in our universe, or like our universe, like I live in a comic book universe, or our mainline universe have to fight, is all the power.
Earth One.
Yeah, Earth One, all the power that he is drawing from that universe, it makes him far beyond anything he ever was. And it's a much more complex story. Doomsday is the time trapper in this run, and that's a lot to explain. Yeah, it's ironic. It's ironic because I now have 2. He's interesting now. I have 2 characters that I loathe
that you disliked before. Now you like them.
That were in shit stories, or shit resulted stories that I did not like because they were headline grabbers. Imagine what you can do when you're actually using those characters to tell an actual story and not grab a headline.
Now this is where, like, everything you laid out there, this is where, and of course, we're going into everything I've seen Peacemaker's finale on Thursday, and we've kind of posited this question before, but I mean, just the scope of that, just describing that. And of course, if you're following Absolute DC at all, it's like you've definitely seen a lot of this, as William and I have. And I mean, not to be a dead horse on it, but I mean, with just the scope of all that, how do you see this being as like a dry run for like, hey, let's take this kind of same concept and extrapolate it off of, through everything like movies and TV, and take it out of comics and put it on everything we've got?
Until I see otherwise, I think I got a feeling that this is where all this is going. There would be nothing that stops, that would tell me that I'm not going to see. I have an absolute Batman turn around and look at the gate, other than there not being one. The only way I wouldn't believe that we wouldn't see that on a Friday is
they haven't cast him yet,
or our absolute Batman could just be a shadow. It could be a shadow. It could be
show him
you wouldn't even
have the axe.
Well, yeah, that's all you would need to show is the spiky shoulders and that axe. You wouldn't even need to show a face. It could be CGI. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was there, and that would be cool. But like I said, the likelihood of it is obviously I don't see any. Okay, what I'm saying is I don't see any reason why you wouldn't see Absolute Batman this Thursday. But I know the odds are against me because that would be too fucking cool. There's just no way. I'm going to get something like that.
And also like the turnaround time from starting in comics form, like the adapted, which of course, as we said on here many times before, it's like there's no way you're not getting absolute. Yeah. In animation and live, this stuff is going to make it out of the comics into other mediums. There's no question about that. It's just a question of when, and it's like.
But why? I see. If I'm James Gunn, I call Scott Snyder. I'm like, what do you think of this, dude? We don't have to start a story, but as soon as you show that, people are going to be like, "Who's that?" And guess what that leads to? That leads you to me.
Exactly. Because if they're following Absolute, then it's like they're having a big nerdgasm from seeing that, and if they're not, then it's like okay.
And if they're not, they're going to be like, "Who's that?
What's this Batman with the axe all about?"
Yeah, and then he can tell you that. But the likelihood of it, I have me growing wings and flying up from the seat right now. But why not? I'm at the point right now where we're at with DC on paper and DC on screen. I don't think anything. People will laugh at you and make fun of you because you come up with some kind of crazy concept. They don't. If you laugh at me for some crazy concept I come up with on this show, you don't understand James Gunn. All this like, all right, James Gunn, James Gunn cook.
Or Scott Snyder for that matter.
Yeah. If you are laughing at anybody that's coming up with anything outlandish or crazy when it comes to DC or Peacemaker episode 8, then you say you understand. You think you're basically embracing James Gunn to knock other people, but you truly don't understand that there's a crazy man running this. And Scott Snyder's not crazy, but Scott Snyder has a imagination that goes far beyond anything I've seen in 30 years. What Scott Snyder is running right now is got me guessing, has got me thinking, has got me anticipating and waiting for. I haven't had that in a long time. Not for this type of story with these characters, and not this expansive, and not for anything that I thought was going to screw up. They've tried to get you excited for these big ass events, but they've ended up being reboots. Oh, get excited for Flashpoint. Fuck Flashpoint. Get excited for the new 52, a whole new beginning that I didn't fucking ask for or need. But this is different. This is taking the world we know, making some adjustments, and piggybacking an entirely different world on it at the same time without one of them destroying each other. The Absolute Universe could exist without destroying, Darkseid would have a different way, but he's going to lose. Without destroying Earth One, and Earth One can exist. When he's going to lose.
He's going to lose the DC Comics editorial. Who's going to lose to?
Yeah, and because what Darkseid wants to do is he wants to consume. He wants to be able to control all of reality, but he can't. There's something stopping him, and that's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the thing that can stop him from doing all that. But he needed to become this Omega, God, King Omega is what I guess he's called, in order to achieve this. But if whoever wins this DCKO battle will be able to fight Darkseid on an equal plane. And if they win, the winner will be able to reshape all of reality into whatever they want to. And that includes, because what Darkseid's doing in the All-In universe, the Earth One, he's fucking with reality just by getting close to it. He's like, he's messing with things. And then there's this whole time travel thing with Superboy Prime, which is like, I want to do a show on that, but it hurts my head because there's a lot going into it. and the time trapper being Doomsday, and explains why he is the time trapper, because the way the dynamics of the time trapper. For those of you who know who the time trapper is, you know that it's not particularly any one person at any given time. It can be someone at a different time.
Kind of like
that person
Spectre.
goes back. Yeah. So there's but it's Doomsday. And it's like an emaciated Doomsday. He's not the big. It's a Doomsday with like a purpose. So he's doing these things and he's guiding these people where they needed to be. And he's got Superman Prime, and Superman's traveling through time. And that's why when people keep asking me questions about Booster Gold, Absolute Booster Gold, I'm like, you need to be reading this other side, because Booster Gold is a big part of that. Because Booster Gold has been to the future where Darkseid took over, and he's made it back. So he's giving them the warning. So it's a really big, expansive story going on along. But like I said, use the internet. Even if you buy the books, I encourage you to buy the books, but use the internet, because there's a lot of pages out there that explain this better than I ever could. And they make it so if there's any bump in the road that you read, that when you're reading, especially on the Earth One side, the Earth One side is entertaining, but it's slightly more confusing depending on where you start reading it. But it's easy to figure out where I need to start. But with Absolute, it's easy. Number one, Absolute Batman number one, Absolute Wonder Woman number one.
Yeah, you might
I don't
this.
know if you're getting one, but you may.
I mean, you might not get like a singular book, but I mean, or that might be how he's introduced. But it's like there might be like a backdoor pilot kind of thing where it's like
there might not, because there's no remember the circumstances in which a cyborg comes to existence. They don't exist here. You may get a Victor, but you might not. There's no way you get Cyborg, because of certain things haven't happened in this universe. They don't exist in this universe. There are no mother boxes in this universe. So remember how he was created in that post-timeline, that post-crisis timeline. So you might get a Victor, you might get somebody just like, but you've gotten other characters that have not had these things happen to them, and they're what they're supposed to be. Like Alfred is not a butler. Alfred is far from a butler.
Oh man, I love Alfred. Absolutely, Alfred is like Frank Castle.
But it's funny because him and Catwoman don't like each other.
Yeah.
But they both care about Bruce, so they're being snarky.
That's where I'm really interested in what they're going to do. The first meeting of characters is going to be in Absolute Wonder Woman 12 and on Christmas Eve when it drops. And I'm really, really interested in, like, because one impression you get if you've been reading Absolute DC, because it's all been individual books so far, and the big takeaway, or one of the big takeaways, is that each of these characters is operating in isolation to such an extent that you just can't envision any of them wanting to like be team players. Like these everybody is so on their own island, and so they have their own like just mission and mindset that's so set in stone that it's just they kind of got they've got every other hero just sort of out of their periphery. And that's where I'm really interested. It's like, how are they going to actually, what's going to be the impetus that's going to bring them together as a team? And it's not going to be like a whole team at first. It's just going to be Batman and Wonder Woman.
It might not be, because remember, there's a Justice League that's not them. It's because this universe is evil versus good is flipped on its head. Like there's a scene in there, like I said, she uses her whip. She's got a fucking Alfred by the neck. It's hilarious because then, like I said, their relationship with each other is not what I don't think it's, it's
well, there's so much. I mean, everybody's relationship is not what it is. I mean, look, Superman and Lois, they don't meet the same way. They meet very much the opposite from what they traditionally do. Lois is a badass. Lois is awesome and Absolute Superman.
But yeah, so this Absolute Batman 13 is, like I said, it highlights Catwoman. Alfred's there, but like I said, she's got him in like a bondage hold. It's neat. I haven't seen Dick Grayson in this universe yet. If I never see a Robin in this universe, I'm okay. I know I'm probably going to get one.
But again, that's with just how much, 9th printing of Absolute Batman 1. Again, that is just unheard of. And again, answering Port's question is like, yeah, there's no indication whatsoever that Absolute is like, it's such a runaway hit. It's like, this is, I mean, what business would want to turn down something that's much of a cash cow for them? So,
the top four comics right now that are selling or two of them are Batman 1 and 2, and then the Absolute Evil, the top of all comics are all have Batman associated with them right now.
Yeah.
For those of you who are always wondering why they want to get Batman as soon as possible and anything, because he sells.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they led with the Trinity, and then the leader of the first one of the Trinity, they started Absolute and start with the cash cow, but that's again with
also
what again I was going to mention, because
when it comes to when it comes to I saw somebody post something, and I think I responded to it. I think it was one of the dudes that when it comes to why Batman was introduced so soon in BBS, and that was a mistake. I'm like, no, introducing Batman in BBS was not a mistake. I think that when I said that when you view things through the lens of what Marvel's doing at the time, and you don't really have the capacity to give DC a chance to be DC, then it becomes a mistake, because you think that everything has to. Well, there should have been a Man of Steel 2. No, there didn't need to be a Man of Steel 2. BVS was a direct sequel to Man of Steel, and it was just as much about Superman as it was about anything. That was not the mistake, in my opinion. Now, before I say this, you understand, you've all heard where I put BVS as far as the pantheon of superhero movies. The mistake was Doomsday. The mistake was the Death of Superman story, because we were talking about this, is Brainiac should have been the main villain controlling Lex in BVS. And if you wanted to kill Superman in BVS, which I don't think was necessary, then Brainiac was more than capable of creating those circumstances. That to me, and I'm saying mistake, not mistake. I differ in the opinion to bring in Doomsday and to adapt that storyline when you could have had the same effect and the same result and been with a lot more clarity by bringing in Brainiac then and there. Bringing in Batman, people are like, well, that was rushed. No, rushed by whose standards? When you say rushed, are you talking about doing things the DC way, or are you talking about everything has to be the structure of what Marvel was doing at the time? So that's the problem I have with that. And that's why you bring in, I am a big proponent of bringing in Batman fucking ASAP. I would have been a proponent of starting with Batman and then getting to Superman. That's me. But that's because I know what Batman does retail-wise. But everybody's different. Okie dokie.
Yeah, going back to Absolute, I mean, it's just taken off so much. I mean, I just can't. That's where I think the question is pertinent about like what degree of convergence or symbiosis is there going to be between Absolute, what they're doing with Absolute, and what's going on at DC Studios. And I mean, I think you're of the mindset. I'm definitely very much getting there myself. Like, there's got to be some kind of like, there's got to be at least some kind of conversation about like how do we intertwine or get on the same wavelength, or just how do we integrate like, you know, Absolute or what Snyder's doing, what Snyder's doing in with what DC Studios is doing, and you know, the potential like for what that can do is, I think is just tremendous. So yeah,
plus it doesn't even have to be, it can be, like I said, that's what Absolute is an epitome of an Elseworld. So if it happens though, I just want to make sure that it goes the direction that Scott Snyder needs to get to go in, more so than James Gunn needs to go in. One of them is, you know, they need to be able to sit down if this gets to that point. But I need Scott Snyder, because this is his world. And any adaptation of his world, just like when James Gunn got Tom King for the story he's doing with Superman, because that's his story. That's as long as, you know, is this, whatever happened is engineered and pushed and propelled by Scott Snyder, because of the fact that I think that he understands the tone more so than anything else. You don't want anything generic to happen to Absolute. You want, if you get Absolute Batman, you want Absolute Batman. You don't want it to be neutered in any way. You don't want it to be misinterpreted in any way, because obviously we've seen what happens when Batman becomes something that's less than a Batman. Not that James Gunn would do that, but James Gunn has his tone for his Batman. Absolute Batman is a totally different animal. If it does come into DC Studios, the creative impetus needs to be with Scott Snyder. That's all I'm hoping. Just Brainiac, because the story being dark side focused makes the story more focused. Okay, that's fine. I can agree with that.
Because I mean, No,
Okay,
we
but-
know is like the dark side is as far as like Zach's overall, the story is like, yeah, dark side is the final boss. They're really like once you get to the first Justice League movie, that's when he's established as the big threat, and yeah.
All that could have been done without the death of Superman story.
I don't know though, because
sure it could have been done without Doomsday.
Because Zod's also it will. I don't know if I use the word intergalactic, but he is an alien villain. So,
but Zod's dead.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that because I think Port's kind of getting at, it's like you want like that many like extraterrestrial villains. It's like, well, we started out with one with Zod, so it's
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you want it or not. You're dealing with an extraterrestrial. Superman is an alien. Superman is an alien who brings along with him alien threats. So that's not a decision. That's if you're going to do Superman, then you are going to eventually deal with, even James Gunn will eventually deal with an alien coming from somewhere else to deal with Superman, vice versa.
Well, I mean, technically, he already has Ultraman, even though he's a clone.
Nah, Ultraman's is a Z player. You're talking about a major player like in a Brainiac, if that's what he ends up doing. Because Ultraman he was a tool. But with I think, like I said, if you didn't want to do Brainiac and BVS, then the direct connection with Darkseid should have been established directly then, because
well, it was with the Nightmare, the Omega symbols, and everything. It's
okay. Once again, do I need Doomsday for that? Did I need Death of Superman for that? Any story that has Darkseid in it didn't need Doomsday in it. You have Darkseid's a god with godlike powers and godlike beings at his disposal. You could have had Calabac. You could have had Calabac come through and triple team him with other
there was
gods.
Also,
and, I mean,
apparently there was also some talk initially, like in the initial, it was just Goyer's like draft. It was initially that Metallo was the villain was considered, and then when Terrio came aboard, that's when they kind of shifted to I think it's when they shifted to Lex and Doomsday. But yeah,
Lex could have been there. Lex could have been there.
Well, he might have been too, like in the initial, like just the Goyer version. It might have been like Lex like creates Metallo, and Metallo's got the kryptonite heart, and of course that makes him a big threat to Superman.
I would have vetoed that, but that's just me.
See, I don't know Metallo though, but he's a good villain, but he's not like a big scale villain either. Though,
well, no, he's a tool. The big villain is Darkseid. I guess if you bring a story of equal epicness to a Darkseid story, I wouldn't want to. No. Brainiac is an interesting, very dangerous threat capable of hurting and or killing Superman. Darkseid is a god that controls an entire civilization that has
plane
access,
of existence.
yeah, who has access to other forms of existence that is outright power himself is a threat. And then you talk about his manipulations. I mean, either one of those characters would have been okay with me. I would have had, a Brainiac working along. Brainiac could have been the tool for Darkseid. I mean, there could have been a lot of people, but I don't put, me personally, this geek's opinion, I don't put Brainiac on the level of Darkseid just because of his sheer power and with the resources.
Yeah, but I also know. I don't know if I could see like Brainiac being like a subservient villain to Darkseid.
Easily. He would have if he needed power. If he needed the type of power to do what he was trying to do, he could get it from Darkseid, thinking he's manipulating Darkseid, even though Darkseid is the one manipulating him. It doesn't have to be an unholy alliance. It could be something, but in the power dynamics things, if they were to exist in the same plane, there's an alpha and there's a beta, and it definitely would be Brainiac would be the beta. He would not have a choice. Like I said, usually when Darkseid comes to enlist you, he's not asking. So, but yeah, but like I said, that's my only.
I remember pre Man of Steel. I remember there was one rumor floating around for a bit that Zod was working for Darkseid. So I don't know.
They've done that. They've written that in the comics. So that's not heard of. But like I said, it just goes back to my only issue with BBS was Doomsday having any part in it, and why did we need to adapt the Death of Superman in something that really didn't need it? It had no real place, because there's certain things that you could have done to make the world appreciate Superman. There's certain ways you could have killed Superman that didn't need to be that. I thought that was forced. People were like, oh, the Wonder Woman thing was forced and all that. No, all those elements needed to be there. It's how that happened and how that came apart that did not, in my opinion, get you to where you needed to be within the Dark Side story arc. And this was a Superman Dark Side arc, in my opinion. But everybody looks at it different. There are people who vehemently disagree with me, and that's fine. That doesn't take BVS down from in my top 5. It doesn't even remotely touch it. I just think with that, it just makes it a better movie. But, you know, like Doomsday and BVS, because that version of the hybrid between Doomsday and Bizarro, nah. This is an opinion. First of all,
that's Superman and Lois that does that.
Yeah. Once again, guys, I'm still waiting. I've been on this earth a half a century. I'm still waiting for somebody to do Bizarro right. And the closest we've gotten was a Superboy episode from like the damn 90s. And that wasn't good. It was just good for what we had at the time. I am still waiting for Bizarro to be done right. So stop doing the fucking Captain Crunch. Let's mix this story and make it Bizarro. Fucking stop. Please. That's not directed to anybody in the chat. But the people who do these stories, fucking stop. Please. If you're going to do Bizarro, commit to doing Bizarro. This ain't Play-Doh, all right? You don't take this Play-Doh here and mix it up and throw it against the ball. If you're going to do Bizarro, fucking do Bizarro. And you haven't yet. I've been on this earth since the 70s. Bizarro's been around since the 60s. Haven't seen it done yet. So the next time they do it will be the first time they do it. Don't even fucking mention Bizarro unless you're going to do Bizarro. James Gunn, if you're listening, please, when you decide to do Bizarro, do Bizarro. Not this bullshit that we've been seeing the last 30-something years. Stop it. Like a hybrid between Doomsday and Bizarro, almost not being Doomsday story best story. No, there was that whole thing I disagreed with. I disagreed with Zod being brought back as anything other than Zod. I didn't want any of that. And then it turns out it wasn't even Doomsday. It was just, because that's not how Doomsday even comes about. So it just, to me, it's the one chink in the armor that is BVS. That's it. The rest of that movie is I've ran out of words to describe how much I love that movie. But that's the one thing that bothers me about that movie. But yeah, let's James Gunn's eventually going to get around to doing Bizarro, and I'm interested to see if is he going to be the first one. James, are you going to be the first one to get this right? Wondering, curious. And you know what? Like I said, I don't even have to, because in the comics Bizarro has been written right. So I don't even need an absolute Bizarro, because I don't need Bizarro to be corrected in comics because he's been fine there. When did you have an issue with the Justice League being introduced via email?
He's talking about like the Lex files, where like Wonder Woman pulls up the file and shows Aquaman and Flash. And I thought, I love that part.
I had no problem.
I was losing my mind in the theater when that happened. Like, this Justice League next. And it's. I actually think that was actually Hannah Bell in the how the Avengers are brought together. It's like, I thought that was like just this idea that they're all, they're all the metahumans are, they're basically in hiding, or they're kind of veiled in secrecy, but they're, like Senator Finch says, like, they're the basis of our myths. And then and Wonder Woman herself, like, being an Amazon, she's, the basis of a lot of our myths, that she plugs that in and sees like the idea that Superman, it's not just him, there's more out there like him, and this is a bigger collection of people of
which is what Waller was involved in. The whole Suicide Squad was involved. So no, I had no problem with that. Bizarro,
I loved that part of BVS.
Bizarro ended up being Doomsday, but yeah, and I thought that was fucking stupid. And as much as I thought of that last 2 seasons of Superman and Lois, because the first 2 seasons were just there for me, that was one of the things that I'm like, are you fucking serious? And then when people were like, oh, tagging me, well, did you see this, William? You're gonna love this. I'm like, excuse me, you did what, and then did what on top of that? I'm like, that was stupid, and I couldn't even find a kind word for that decision in that show. I couldn't find anything to be like, because I don't like to just say something, because somebody took creative time. They took that's just not fine. That was stupid. That was by far the dumbest thing that they did in the 4 years that show was on the air. And
Best
it
Superman
ruined,
TV show ever.
But hey, listen, the best something you think in your mind can still have stupid shit in it. I actually thought the last 2 seasons of Superman and Lois were really good. I ain't gonna say great. It had great moments, and I pointed out those great moments. But it also had some dumb shit. This was dumb shit right here. This was stupid. I wish I could find a better word for that decision. This was stupid, and it really almost turned me off to it because I'm like, here we go again with this lazy shit. You guys are paid to have imaginations, and you came up with this. So no, I really did not like that. Well, he's in
Superman. He's in Absolute Superman, and there's a part in it where one of the more recent issues where he really
he's getting
gets
under
it.
Superman's skin right now. So yeah, he's doing so. So we have an absolute peacemaker.
He doesn't have his own book, but
yeah, he's there though. He's more there than he. Are you reading? Do you have access to the Absolute books, Aaron? Let me know.
Absolute Superman. It's like it's really, man. It's like that. I think that's probably my favorite of all of them is Absolute Superman.
So far, it's Batman for me. It's Batman, then Wonder Woman, then Superman. But they're like neck and neck. It's like not. It's not like
it's incremental, like the difference in quality between each title.
This issue of Batman, this 13 put Batman ahead for me. This issue's really good. This issue's really fucking good, and it, like I said, it just keeps getting better. And like I said, usually you reach a zenith, even if you love the book, it's like it can't be consistently going and breaking these ceilings every issue. So far, there's no ceiling. He just keeps creating one, and then 13 was 13 is no better.
I like the JL via email because the logo's already been there.
I had no problem with that. I had no problem with that at all.
Yeah,
like I said,
I think that's a better like introduction, really than the Avengers got. I think it's a better way to like establish it's like the idea that they're shrouded in mystery like this, and then we just get this big reveal of like this. Like, I mean, it's here's what it is. It's taking that that Kryptonian message, "You are not alone." And now it's like flipping that onto the metahuman side of it. It's like now it's telling Wonder Woman, it's telling and in a sense telling Superman, you are not alone.
Yeah, and the flip side of that, I have no problem with the way the Avengers were introduced. I think that both companies, when they were doing their own stories and before the fanboys started, brain fucking each other and the executives started listening to the stupid shit that the fanboys listened to, when they were telling their own story before things got corrupted, I thought both companies were doing what was appropriate for the characters that they had at their disposal and the histories that they were handling. And I thought the biggest tragedy of this whole comic book movie thing earlier on, not recently, but earlier on, was that we just did not have the capacity to let DC be DC. We just did not have the willingness or the capacity or the wherewithal because of what Marvel was doing to let DC be DC. Now we've had 10 years. We've had a whole bunch of things. We've had some mediocrity in the middle with DC and some spectacular stuff happening on the other side with Marvel and DC. So, and you've also had streaming. You've also had things that allow the individual to sit down and watch and make up their own mind instead of going to movies with a pack mentality. That's the one advantage streaming has given us. It allows people to sit and watch it in the privacy of their own mind without the whole pack mentality that comes with being associated with this stuff. So, but yeah, that got corrupted. And, there you go. How you doing, Film Suck? We're almost wrapping up with high.
Not a big Snyderverse fan, but I still, and like you said, crazy man run the place.
Yeah, I don't know what to add to that, but like I said, I was a big fan of that universe. And I will always be skeptical of diving in 100%. But even right now, as I'm having fun with Peacemaker and some of these other things, is like once you start something and you don't finish it, I always see the potential in you to do the same thing again. And it doesn't even have to be with the person who's doing it. It's people change. Roles change, people get replaced, people get fired, people get hired, people get bought out. So there's nothing in this situation right now, even with all the fun that I'm having, that definitively tells me that this is where I can spend the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years of my pop culture fandom investing in my time into this. Because the one thing more so than the money is the time. That's the biggest crime that the previous administration did. They wasted my time. So now I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm along for the ride, but I'm making sure that you don't push that button to lock the door. So if you're going somewhere I don't want to be, then my ass can't jump out, because I will get out. I will get off this boat if it goes in a certain direction. So, all right, guys, that's been a much longer through than I thought I was going to do. But hey, we had some topics to talk about tonight. And tomorrow's Wednesday. Like I said, don't know if I'm going to be on Wednesday. We definitely will be on Thursday, obviously. I think I'll do a show. We'll just do a Peacemaker prep show tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
you said you wanted to do that with the tinfoil thing.
The what?
You said you wanted to do it with the tinfoil.
Oh yeah. I need to get some. I need to get some foil, man. Thanks for reminding me. I need to get some foil to cover up one of my hats with. So, all right, like, subscribe if you're watching on Twitter, which the majority of you are right now. Right below me, youtube.com/@the-Sci-Fi Center. Join us here. This is the foundation of our channel. It's cool that you're watching on Twitter, but like I said, the channel's built on YouTube. Elon's not giving us anything. So, but YouTube barely gives us anything, and they take half of that when you play I probably got demonetized twice over that, but join us here, like, subscribe, share. And I don't even want to lie about that. So. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow night for the Peacemaker prep. That's a mouthful. See you with fellow hats on. Bye.
See you guys.